Hi guys, I'm the Godless Engineer, and tonight we are joined by Matt Kovacs of the Miami Valley Skeptics.
That's
Yes.
it.
All right, awesome. Now, if you guys don't know Matt, he recently had an interesting intersection with a well-known internet pastor that I've been known to take on a couple times. Normally drunk, because that's really the only way that you can escape that without getting brain damage.
Engineer, a conscious pioneer, a logic general, a reason brigadier, battling a system that finds ignorance profound. Substantial evidence is all we need you to propound. Pascal's wager might seem like a reasoning to you, but my wager, I bet you never meet the burden of proof. Poof, voila, it's magic, can't you see that he said some magic words and then it all just came to be? Ha, more bullshit from the pulpit. Meet me in the comment section and you get schooled, bitch. More bullshit from the pulpit. Meet me in the comment section and you get schooled, bitch. The Godless Engineer.
Let's talk about the whole Feuerstein thing,
Oh,
because
yeah.
that's what that's what brought my attention to you and your group. That's what got a lot of people's attention. For those of you that don't know, Feuerstein put up a GoFundMe for like $20,000, right, to buy a camera. Now, this camera was never bought. Apparently, it was a Red One camera that he wanted to buy, and he was wanting to spend $20,000 on it. Yet the camera really only costs about $2,500,
Mhm.
or at least from what I found. And so it's really kind of odd that he wouldn't be shooting, all of his videos on this new brand spanking new high value camera, and he's still using an iPhone, like done in portrait mode for some damn reason. Now, Matt here actually attended I guess it was a church service that he was guest pastoring or something like that.
Not quite, but he was there.
Yeah. He got him, and he acted like he was going to take a picture with him. And of course, Feuerstein was like, "Oh yeah, more publicity," kind of deal. And he actually questioned him about that. And so, Matt, why don't you let people know what he ended up doing?
Well, first off, I'll try to make this story short. I don't know how long your podcast is, but I could go an hour explaining this story. He posted on his Facebook that he's going to be at this church on this date, like he's a speaker of the church. So I go to the church's website, no mention of him at all. He's not advertised anywhere on this website. I email the church saying I saw on Josh Feuerstein's Facebook page he's going to be there. The church finally emails back and says they don't know anything about that. No knowledge that he's going to be there. This is kind of suspicious. Okay. So then he posts a couple days later, I'm going to be at this church for this event and email me for VIP tickets for my meet and greet. What the hell? Okay. So I email him and say, hey, can I have 3 tickets to a meet and greet? He emails back and says, sure thing, you got it. And I actually screen cap this and it's on my YouTube channel, this email conversation. I email the church back saying something along the lines of, I have is Josh Feuerstein doing a meet and greet at your event? And they say he's pretty much no, he can do that on his own time, but our understanding is he's attending as a guest. A guest. So he's advertising he's going to be sitting in the audience at this church for the service. And it wasn't just any service, mind you. It was a bull riding event inside a church. Honest to fucking God, a bull riding event. They take where the pulpit usually is and where they give the sermon in the first few rows, knock that out, put up a pen, fill it with dirt, and bring in live bulls and do a bull riding show at this fucking church. So I go to this event, ask my 3 VIP tickets I was promised. It's open seating. So they don't know anything about VIP tickets. So I sit down, and then they mention that Nightline is here to film the bull riding event. think about this. There you go. Josh Feuerstein is from Arizona. He never is known for his touring. He randomly picks a church in Cincinnati, Ohio, out of the blue and advertises himself as attending. It makes it seem like he's there as, whatever, a speaker. And then I found out Nightline's here to film their bull riding event because they're riding live bulls inside a church. So they bring in the bulls, ride the fucking bulls, and it's like this. It's crazy. I have videos on my YouTube channel of this bull riding event. Then Josh Feuerstein comes up. They say, Josh Feuerstein is here. He's going to give a quick testimony, et cetera, et cetera. A quick testimony turns into a 40-minute sermon. And then at the end of his 40-minute testimony, he hijacks the altar call, does the altar call himself. Whether that was planned or not, I don't know, but it looked like the looks on the pastor's faces, it wasn't planned. So in front of Nightline, he does an altar call. I record the whole thing on my iPhone, and surrounded, he tells all the people to come up on stage and surround him in a circle and put their hands toward him. So you have this image of these people putting their hands toward Josh Feuerstein, and he's praying over them. It's a beautiful image for Nightline, let me tell you what.
Wait, okay, so let me get this straight. Joshua Feuerstein acts like he's some kind of servant of God. Mm-hmm. Yet he gets up on stage and he acts like David Koresh?
And he talks in this... in his story is so many, it's so full of shit, but these people are buying it in tears. It talks about how he starts to cry and say, God took everything from me, and I was an atheist, and I was a pastor of a church. He never mentions the church, but he's a pastor of a church, and his current wife supposedly at the time cheated on him twice with the drummer in the worship band and someone else in the church. And he's all alone, and he leaves God. And he's all emotional, and he puts a gun in his mouth. He's ready to shoot and kill himself. And then he hears a voice from heaven say, Josh, give me your bull. Because it's a bull riding event. Get it? Yeah, he's connecting the two. He says, Josh, give me your bull. And he felt a hand grab his and take the gun away. And he turned his life over to Jesus. And before you leave this service today, give God your bull. Give it all to him. Come up on stage, raise your hands, and let me pray over you. And people were eating this shit up, crying, coming on stage. It's like, how do you people not read through this?
So, wait, he said that he was an atheist?
He claimed there was a point in his life after he was the pastor of a certain church where, supposedly his first wife cheated on him 2 times with 2 people in the church. So, good for him. And then he left the church, left God, and then God spoke to him. I guess physically spoke to him and convinced him he existed. Why couldn't God do that to me? But who knows?
Okay, so he says that God took everything from him. I wonder what he considers everything. If you were to look at his Instagram feed, it's pretty much like not everything was taken from him, apparently. Either that or his parents got really fucking sympathetic towards him. Now, I will say this. He has been a leading pastor or a head pastor of 2 churches prior to his internet fame. But both of those churches were actually shut down and filed bankruptcy and whatnot. So I don't know what church he thinks that he was in, but that's kind of a weird thing. Did you know that his parents worked at the Mayo Clinic too?
No, I didn't. For real?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
There was his social media manager. If you can imagine this is how much money the guy has. He pays somebody to actually run his Facebook page and all of his social media. That's how he started a page in April of 2014, and it's already surpassed like 1 million people, basically. He's able to pump money into it and actually get like his message out there. And he pumps a lot of money into his Facebook page.
Wow. And then he gets people to give him money.
No, he doesn't just get people to give him money, dude. He gets people to be like, "Oh, you are Jesus, but not really, but you
should see." Yeah. And he's such a narcissist. He invites himself to this church uninvited and puts on his Facebook page that a poster of him in the church. Josh Feuerstein at Solid Rock Church, this date, this time. Invites himself, hijacks the altar call for the church. It's such a narcissist. So, but anyways, after the event, he claims he's going to have his meet and greet. So, okay. The whole time I'm taking notes, I sit in the back row because I'm taking notes on my iPad, kind of the event, some of the stuff they said. And they said some crazy stuff during this event. Let me pull up my notes here. Read you some of the stuff directly from the pastor's mouth and Feuerstein's mouth. You're going to love some of this. All right, here we go. Oh, yeah, the offering. The pastor, it's a female pastor, Pastor Bishop, who is probably wearing a $500 dress, and says, God gave his life for you. The least you can do is give money to his church. Fucking guilt trip, huh? Come on.
God damn.
He died for you.
Look, guys, he died for you. The least you can do is cough up all your money. I mean, come on. Well, okay, not all your money, just 10%.
Yeah, and givers never run out of anything to give. They just don't want to keep giving.
Oh, okay, what? Talk about this. This is just filled with guilt, isn't it? This is just a bunch of toxic, guilty shame being pushed on these people.
Well, this church is huge. It's got a freaking 800-foot tall Jesus statue on its front lawn.
Isn't there something in the Bible about not making graven images? I mean, I think isn't that like one of the 10 Commandments? No, maybe not. I don't know.
And they ended the sermon with this church service with this. If you walk out without accepting Jesus, your blood is on your hands, not ours. Heed our warning.
Heed our warning? Well, is there like a gunman out there ready to just be like, did you accept Jesus? Oh, you didn't, did you?
Whatever happens,
on your hands. It's not my fault.
So they do their whole wonderful rock concert church service where the prayer was clearly scripted. She was reading a script off her podium with her eyes open and the music slowly playing in the background, building to a climax, and boom, people applaud at the end of the prayer. It's like, what the fuck? So they do the meet and greet. And there's a pretty long line. I'm lucky to get, because I knew it was coming. And the whole sermon I'm thinking, or the whole service I'm thinking, I'm going to get like one or two questions before they realize I'm not here to give this guy a hug. He's going to find out pretty damn quick. So it's like, what's the first question I want to ask? I could beat him up over the whole let me destroy evolution in 3 minutes type video, but it's not that important. No, the most important thing is, where the hell's the money for the camera, Josh? Where's the camera? So I want to ask about the camera. I finally get up there, and in the video, my friend, I say, hey, can I get a picture? And of course, Feuerstein's giving pictures, talking to people, giving hugs. Then I in a non-confrontational way, purposely non-confrontational, because I want to be sure I'm not going to give off any suspicion, which I think there was some suspicion because when I was during the service, when I was typing on my iPad and taking video with my iPhone, there was like a usher standing behind me. You could clearly see what I was typing on my iPad and putting weird quotes about what they would say. So I go up there and I ask Josh Feuerstein about the $30,000 camera, and immediately his body language changes. He's visibly uncomfortable with the question. You saw the video. And my first thought is, what if I'm one of the people who donated to you? Why would you immediately be hostile to someone asking, how's the camera? I didn't say, did you steal the money? I didn't say, hey, you're dishonest. I didn't say you're a douchebag. Or I didn't even ask him about his $500 watch he happened to be wearing. It was, how's the ministry? Hey, whatever happened to that camera? Did you buy it with the money? Very polite. And he clearly got uncomfortable. He hurried along the conversation. He says he bought a Canon 5D camera, which is mainly for still photography. I mean, it can take video, but they're usually still photography cameras. And the top of the line Canon 5D is $2,500, the most expensive you can find. So it's nowhere near the 20 to 30K he was supposedly raising. And then he mumbles something about, well, I was talking to Nightline guys for advice, and then like someone calls his name, and he's like, okay, see you later. And the ushers are kind of like waving me, all right, we could tell this is not where he wants to go. So I didn't really get to ask my follow-up question, which was, can I see a picture of the camera or a proof of purchase with the date of the camera? Which was my next question. So then I leave the service, and I sent him a message on Facebook saying, hey, I was the guy you just talked to. You know, I appreciate you talking to me. Again, really polite, because I have no reason to be hostile toward him at this point. And say, hey, I was going to ask you next, can I see the camera, and can I see proof of purchase with date of the camera? And immediately I am blocked from his Facebook page. And then I post the video on YouTube, and I'm getting messages from people also being blocked for sharing the video on his Facebook page and leaving in the comments, where's the camera and proof of purchase for the camera? And he still doesn't even acknowledge it. So that tells me clearly there's a reason you're uncomfortable not acknowledging this camera. And in your own Bible, it says leaders of the church should be above reproach and should have no blame brought against them. Well, here's a blame, Josh. I'm accusing you of doing something dishonest. I will retract every statement I've made, every video out there that is floating on YouTube I've made, or I'm sure someone would be willing to track, maybe even you retract some of the videos, if he shows the camera and shows proof of purchase with the date of the camera. That's all I'm asking.